I feel that I've really moved away from the manifestation realm or even some of the tools, principles, whatever, because to me, it's really coming from a frequency of get, right? Like I'm trying to get or obtain something, whether it's money, whether it's love, the job, the house, car, the business, whatever it is for you, it's really coming from this energy of like, I'm trying to get this. And for me, it's like whenever we're trying to operate from this energy of like trying to get or obtain something outside of ourselves, again, what we're communicating to the subconscious is that like, I am not it, that it is not already mine. And whenever there is this othering or separation, you continue to add resistance and just push it out further and further and further away. And that's why you'll be like, well, I'm doing all the things, but nothing's happening. Well, yes, sis, it's because you haven't addressed who you're being, who you're becoming along the journey. Welcome back to the Shadow Priestess Embodied. I'm your host, Kaylin Rakowski, and thank you for joining me today for another deep dive and exploration into your inner world, into your body, the shadow realms, where we will begin to explore some of these esoteric principles and really begin to drop them down into modern day application and embodiment. This is a sacred place where you can begin to truly meet yourself, meet your medicine, and to meet your magic. This is a place of remembrance. Take a deep breath and let's begin. Welcome back, beautiful people, for another episode of the Shadow Priestess Embodied. So today I want to kind of dive into the manifestation realm and really talk about some of the things that I see in the industry, whether you're in personal development or you're heavy into like the spiritual space, energetics, etc. There's this huge buzz around manifestation. And, maybe some of you had gateway drugs like The Secret or got introduced to the law of attraction. And it really kind of, activated this turn on or like allure to the manifestation world. And, I've been on this journey now for over a decade, and that feels crazy to say, but this has been my like deepest joy is exploring all things spirituality, quantum physics, and really trying to understand them and embody them on such a different level. And, I think that our obsession, I will say, with manifestation and the tools and the rituals and everything has really kind of like taken us out of the truest and most important piece of manifestation altogether. And to me, it's like I definitely have been there, done that, got the t-shirt, right? I did my affirmations, I've tried vision boards, all these different kinds of rituals, spells, you name it. When I first kind of got curious about the path, or I guess started my spiritual awakening, and I think that they can serve you up until a certain point. However, there comes a point when you realize that you are the tool. And you being so hyper focused on these things is actually like giving your power to something outside of self. And truthfully, you manifest from your authentic form, right? From your vibration, from your dominant frequency. So truthfully, you're manifesting all the time. It's not something that you do for a few minutes or a half hour or an hour every day and, there it comes. The universe is going to respond and magnetize to you through who you are being all of the time. And if you think about it this way, everything in your reality right now is a past manifestation, right? Like if you look around at your reality, like this is the matrix that you've created from your thoughts, from your beliefs, from your choices. Okay. So essentially, if you're wanting to manifest or to create something different, it's going to start with self and it's going to take a complete different version of you. So it's not just something that you're going to try on for a few minutes a day and say a few hundred affirmations and boom, there's a sky daddy who's going to come down and deliver it to you. That's not really how this works, okay? So you have to realize that the universe is going to respond to who you are, not who you say you are or pretend to be. So the manifestation is really happening on an identity level. You first have to take care of the frequency for the universe to take care of the form. And this really starts with self. It starts with who you are being. And I've seen this so many times with my clients, and they're like, Kaylin, I've been doing my affirmations, I've been doing my self-care, I'm da 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 da. And the thing isn't happening. It's like they're so heavy focused on that thing being something separate, something being outside of them. And every time they do, it's like you're literally communicating to the universe that, like, I am not it. And that's just going to keep adding resistance, adding separations, and prolonging the manifestation process. Okay. So, what you have to really shift into is to the version of you who's already it, who's already living it, feeling it, experiencing it, even if it hasn't happened on the physical. Because, like I said, everything in your reality is a past manifestation. And that's truly why, with my clients, that instead of focusing on manifesting the thing, we shift our focus or our attention inward into who we are being. And really, what we begin to play with is the art of alignment. And when we're talking about alignment, it's not like, I wake up and I pulled some cards and I meditated for 10 minutes and then I go back into this identity version of self, thoughts, behaviors, choices, insert blank, and keep getting pissed off that things aren't changing. Okay. So with alignment, we don't focus on the outcome or, what you get after blank. We focus on the journey and who you're becoming day to day and really aligning ourself with the identity of our future self who already has it, who it's already theirs. And it's a whole different ball game when you can really shift your identity and your capacity to operate at that level. This is like how we actually prepare for the manifestations and tell the universe, like, I'm ready, I'm all in. And you do this through the process of alignment, through embodiment, through who you are becoming. And this is really why I feel that I've really moved away from the manifestation realm or even some of the tools, principles, whatever, because to me, it's really coming from a frequency of get, right? Like I'm trying to get or obtain something, whether it's money, whether it's love, the job, the house, car, the business, whatever it is for you. It's really coming from this energy of like, I'm trying to get this. And for me, it's like whenever we're trying to operate from this energy of like trying to get or obtain something outside of ourselves, again, what we're communicating to the subconscious is that, like, I am not it, that it is not already mine. And whenever there is this othering or separation, you continue to add resistance and just push it out further and further and further away. And that's why you'll be like, well, I'm doing all the things, but nothing's happening. Well, yes, sis, it's because you haven't addressed who you're being, who you're becoming along the journey. And truthfully, what I've come to realize in working with clients and God, even myself, it's like we don't even want the thing, right? We don't want the relationship. We don't want the money, the house, whatever it is. We think we do. But we truly are desiring that because we believe it's going to create a certain type of feeling in our life or a certain kind of experience, whether that be safety, whether that be love, connection, status, visibility, insert blank. you really want the thing because you think it's going to make you feel blank. And then how many of us have, achieved the accolades and, got that thing that we were wanting so bad to get. And then we got it and it didn't truly make us feel how we envisioned it was going to make us feel. And then our mind instantly went, okay, well, what's next? More on to the next thing that you didn't even take a minute to receive and be in gratitude for what you were communicating to the universe that you wanted so deeply. So, what I'm trying to get at here is that if you find yourself operating in this energy of trying to get something or obtain something, I want you to pause for a minute and ask yourself, why? Why do I want that? What does me having that allow me to experience, feel in my life? And how can I take radical responsibility over my frequency, over my life, and allow myself to feel those things now, right? If you want a relationship because you're desiring to feel love and connection, how can you start feeling love and connection with yourself and in your day to day life? If you feel like you want the job because you're wanting visibility, well, how can you lean in and allow yourself just to be a little bit more visible today, here in this moment? And then you'll realize as you begin cultivating this frequency, as you step into these experiences, ways of being, behaviors that create a certain experience or emotion, that literally becomes a magnet in which you pull more opportunities, aligned relationships, right? Creativity, experience, inspiration, whatever, to begin flowing into your life, right? Like it is the law of attraction. Like it is going to come to you simply through who you are being. But you have to understand that the universe isn't like interested in actors, right? If you want to put on a front and act like you're this type of person and, do meditation and do yoga for 10 minutes a day, but then you have shitty thought forms, you're in a toxic relationship, you're in a job you hate, and then you're sitting there wondering, like, why is nothing happening for me? It's like you have to really look at, well, what am I choosing? And this is why I really have begun to play with the art of alignment, because it's like those small mundane choices in our day to day that compound over time and create like the quantum leaps or create the staircase into the reality in which we're so desiring to step into. But it starts with like, what am I choosing? If I were in alignment with this version of self in this reality, how would I start my day? What would I be thinking? What would I be choosing? What relationships would I invest in? What circles or spaces would I be in? How would I spend my time? What food would I eat? What music would I listen to? You can see where I'm going with this. But it's those small choices day to day that become the portal ways or the magnets for you to draw in everything that you're desiring to experience. Like it starts with self. You will always go first. So I'll just say this, okay? Like if I had to say one of the things that I hear or that I see the most in the coaching space or when I'm holding space for someone is they're frustrated about the timing. Okay. They feel like they should be further ahead. They feel like it should have happened by now. Right. And we put all these expectations and attachments on the timing of the manifestation that so many times it's like we give up right before it's about to land, right before the thing is about to happen. Right. And it's like, if you think about it this way, you guys, like, what is the last thing to grow on the tree? Like, it is the fruit. So many times I see people giving up and believing that it's not going to happen or it's not for them when it was like right on the other side. Okay. So I think a really important piece to bring in here is that, like, the universe doesn't speak in like time, right? Like that's really an illusion. It doesn't exist. It speaks in alignment. Okay. So your relationship with time is energetic. Okay. It is a relationship. And really, if we break this down further, it's like time is a relationship to your ego or identity. It's like this persona, this personality of who you believe yourself to be. And when you are truly in alignment, like with your essence, with the highest, like, expression of your God spark divinity, it's like time moves very quickly, right? Time has so much to do with how in alignment you are with your soul essence and mission. Okay. So think about it this way, like, when you're like in your zone of genius, like when you're doing something that you love, it's like time doesn't exist, right? It almost collapses altogether. Like for me, I love to paint, and there's something for me in that when I'm painting, that I just like lose myself. I'm in a trance. I lose all sense of time, space, right? You're in that flow state, okay? And now think about something that you have to do or that you do that, maybe just isn't your jammy jam. Maybe it's not the thing that lights you up. For me, it's like anything structure or logistical. Like I want to rip my hair out of my head. So when I'm doing those types of things, I feel like, half an hour is equivalent to like 3 hours, or I feel like I've been sitting there all day long. So as I'm talking, I hope that you can kind of begin to connect the dots and really see how you feel about time affects your experience of time. Okay. So, right now, at any moment, what's happening is the universe is showing yourself who you have chosen to be or who you believed yourself to be up until this point. It's like you 100% are creating your reality or your experience of reality. Okay. So, if you want to, create something different or manifest something, this starts by you addressing who you are choosing to be. Okay. So I want you to really like get this. I want this to land. It's like your reality is shaped through your awareness, who you believe yourself to be. This is why I am so passionate and going to like beat this nail in the head that if you focus on alignment, if you focus on the identity piece, then your reality can't help but to change. Okay. You can literally become a shapeshifter and bend reality, right? And you get to do this by you trying on and experimenting, with different identities and ways of being. It's like how you almost like find the cheat code or that thing that unlocks everything for you. Okay. And I know I've said this before, but like truly, like when you take care of the frequency, the universe takes care of the form, right? When there's no resistance, you open up all the channels of receptivity and how God is really trying to move life to you and through you at this time. Okay. And it's like, your attachments and expectations of, how quickly you believe it should happen or how just literally slows down the time and will continue to add resistance. That's why I'm saying when you are truly just like focusing on your essence, like being that highest like spark of divinity and you taking care of that, it's like the universe then will take care of the form because you are receptive, you are open, you are allowing. It's not that you're trying to manifest or control a certain outcome. It's like you're just honoring alignment and, really cultivating and curating that version of you who's already experiencing everything in your life that you desire. Okay. So it's like by you addressing who you are being on an identity level, you then can collapse time altogether. You collapse and transverse timelines for your most desired experience of reality. So it's like always looking at like, who is the version of me that is experiencing, creating, living blank? And how can I attune myself to that frequency? How can I attune myself or embody that identity? And we can literally create these quantum leaps through this daily aligned action, through really focusing on the identity level about who you are being in every given moment. Like, this is the art of alignment, and why, when you focus on the actual alignment piece, that you don't have to try to manifest anything. It's like things just happen as a natural byproduct of who you're being, and they actually come in and open up all these different ways for you to receive and experience blank that the current mind, ego, identity that you're operating in can't even imagine yet. Okay. So this is really kind of two parts here. It's like we get to speed up like the timing, right, of the manifestation, simply just by honoring alignment of sacred truth. This really is switching your brain from operating from a paradigm of trying to get or obtain or even control or manipulate reality. I see people use manifestation for that all of the time and really focus on who you are becoming, right? When it's not about the end goal, it's not about, reaching a certain destination, but who you become through the process. So, what I really want to have you guys take away from this or leave here with this today is that manifestation is a great like gateway into, spirituality or energetics. However, there is a different way, and that is through alignment. And, you know, when you truly are trying to manifest something, not saying that it can't happen or it won't work, but it's like, you're continuing to believe that it is separate from self, right? And wherever there's separation, there will be resistance. So instead of focusing your attention in trying to get blank, I want you to focus on who do I need to be or become, from getting to becoming. This is really the difference in manifestation and alignment. And when you truly are honoring alignment and really attending to who you are being every step of the way, what are you choosing? How are you thinking? What are you participating in? How are you showing up, etc.? It's like you just being in that state, in that frequency. It's like you're not having to try to do anything. It's like everything happens as a natural byproduct. The relationships, the creativity, the opportunities, and your ability to actually manifest or to create it or even maintain it is at a higher rate, because it's like you stretched your capacity to operate at that level. You shifted who you are being on a foundational level. So it's like even when that stuff happens, it's like there's more neutrality to it. Not that you're not excited, not that you don't celebrate it, but it's like, oh yeah, well, duh, of course this would happen. Do you kind of see the difference here? So I want you to really take away just how you can begin honoring alignment in your life. What does alignment or attunement to that future version of self who's already living the life that you desire look like? And today, how can you take the aligned action to step in, to lean in, to embody that just a little bit more? If this is an episode that has left you wanting more and you are really ready to deep dive into your own shadows, into your identity work, into your uniqueness, your otherness, then let me just tell you that identity work, deep transformation is my absolute domain and my favorite place to guide and work with my clients through. And if you are ready to really be devoted to yourself and see what can happen when you really unlock that next level of self-expression, then I do have a few select one-on-one private mentor spaces that have just opened up. as well as my favorite, most delicious group mastermind, Emergence, is reopening the doors this September. If this is something you're interested in, click the link in my bio, and I look forward to connecting with you. Thank you so much for joining me today for another juicy episode of Shadow Priestess Embodied. I absolutely love diving in and having these conversations with you all. If this is an episode that you found intriguing, that you found some nuggets in, please share it with a friend and be sure to subscribe and follow me so you can be present for all of the upcoming transmissions, activations, and downloads that I'll be bringing to our community. Have an absolutely magical day, and I'll see you soon.